Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I'm really glad you're here today because we're going to talk about something that every English learner dreams of: speaking English naturally, fluently, and confidently, just like you think. Have you ever noticed that you can think of the right words in your mind, but when it's time to speak, your tongue freezes? You know what you want to say, but it doesn't come out as smoothly as you hoped. You hesitate, you pause, you get nervous, and then you think, why can't I speak the same English that I think in my head? If that sounds like you, then stay with me, because today's lesson is all about how to bridge that gap between thinking and speaking, how to make your thoughts come out easily and naturally in English. We'll explore practical exercises, simple techniques, and real conversations that you can follow along with. So, by the end of this video, you'll not only understand how to think in English, but also how to speak the same English that's already in your mind. Let's get started. Part 1. Why we struggle to speak like we think. First, let's talk about why this problem happens. You might know a lot of English words. You might even understand movies, songs, or conversations perfectly. But when it's your turn to speak, you hesitate. Why? It's because there's a gap between your thinking process and your speaking process. When you think, your brain may use your native language first, then translate it into English. That translation takes time. So, by the time you're ready to say the sentence, the conversation has already moved on. To speak the same English that you think, you need to stop translating in your head. You need to train your brain to think directly in English. For example, let's say you want to say, I need to go to the store. But your brain first thinks in your native language. It forms the sentence there, and then it tries to find the English words for it. That's when hesitation begins. Now imagine if your brain already thought the sentence in English, I need to go to the store. You wouldn't have to pause or translate. It would flow naturally. So the goal is simple. Connect your thoughts directly to English words. Part 2. Step 1. Think in small English sentences. Let's begin with small, simple sentences. When you wake up, instead of thinking in your native language, try thinking simple English thoughts like these. I'm getting out of bed. I'm brushing my teeth. It's a beautiful morning. I'm making breakfast. I have to go to work. These short sentences help your brain stay in English mode. The more you do this, the faster your brain will learn to think directly in English. Let's practice this together. I'll say a situation, and you say what you might think in English. Ready? Situation 1. You're feeling hungry. You might think, I'm hungry. I want to eat something. Situation 2. You're checking your phone. You might think, I got a new message. Situation 3. You're leaving home. You might think, I need my keys. By doing this daily, even silently, your brain starts to automatically choose English words. Part 3. Step 2. Shadowing and repeating natural speech. Another way to speak the same English you think is through a technique called shadowing. This means you listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say, almost at the same time. This helps your brain connect sounds, rhythm, and flow, just like how a child learns to speak. For example, let's try shadowing together. I'll say a few sentences slowly, and you can repeat after me. I like learning English. I want to speak naturally. I am not afraid to make mistakes. I can speak confidently. When you repeat these sentences, You train your mouth and your brain to move together. This reduces hesitation because your brain gets used to forming English sentences quickly. Now let's practice a short dialogue that you can shadow. Speaker 1, how are you today? Speaker 2, I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? Speaker 1, I'm good. I've been practicing my English a lot lately. Speaker 2, that's great. I can tell your speaking is improving. When you shadow this dialogue, focus on rhythm and tone. Try not to think of every word's meaning, just speak naturally and flow with it. Part 4, Step 3, use simple and natural English. Many learners believe they need big words or complicated grammar to sound fluent. That's not true. The most fluent English speakers use simple, clear words. If you want to speak the same English that you think, simplify your speech. Speak with words that are comfortable for you. For example, instead of saying, I am attempting to enhance my English proficiency, you can say, I'm trying to improve my English. Both sentences mean the same thing, but the second one is easier and sounds more natural. Here's another one. Instead of, I reside in a metropolitan area, say, I live in a city. When your thoughts and your words match in simplicity, your speech becomes smooth. Let's practice this together. I'll say a sentence that sounds too formal, and then we'll make it simple. Formal. I am endeavoring to acquire new vocabulary. Simple. I'm trying to learn new words. Formal. I am uncertain about the correct pronunciation. Simple. I'm not sure how to say it. See? The simple version is easier to think and speak. That's how you build fluency. Part 5, Step 4, practice speaking out loud. Thinking in English is important, but speaking out loud is the real test. When you speak out loud, your brain learns to send thoughts to your mouth quickly. Here's a fun exercise you can do every day. Describe what you're doing out loud in English. For example, if you're cooking, you can say, I'm cutting the vegetables. I'm boiling the water. I'm adding salt. I'm stirring the soup. If you're walking outside, say, I'm going to the market. The weather is nice today. I see people walking their dogs. When you describe your actions in real time, you stop translating and start thinking and speaking together. Part 6, Step 5, think in English questions and answers. A great way to train your mind is to have short conversations with yourself in English. For example, ask, what am I doing right now? Answer, I'm watching a video. Ask, why am I watching it? Answer, because I want to improve my English. Ask, what will I do next? Answer, I will practice speaking. This question and answer method builds your ability to respond quickly, just like in real conversation. Let's try it together. I'll ask a question, and you can answer out loud. What time do you wake up? You can say, I wake up at 7. What do you eat for breakfast? You can say, I eat eggs and bread. What do you do after breakfast? You can say, I go to work. Simple, right? Keep doing this daily, and you'll notice how your English starts to match your thoughts naturally. Part 7, Step 6, speak without fear. One big reason people can't speak the same English they think is fear. Fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of sounding wrong. But remember this, mistakes are proof that you're learning. Even native speakers make mistakes. The goal is not perfection. The goal is communication. When you stop worrying about being perfect, your brain relaxes. You start speaking more freely and your English flows naturally. Let's make a small affirmation together. Say this with me. I am not afraid to make mistakes. I learn every time I speak. My English is improving every day. I can speak the same English, I think. If you say this every day, your confidence will grow. Part 8, Step 7, Listen more, think more, speak more. The more English you listen to, the more your brain adapts. Listening is the key to thinking in English. Watch English videos, listen to podcasts, and pay attention to how people speak in real life. Notice the phrases they use. Try to repeat them. For example, when you hear someone say, "What's up?" or "How's it going?" think of how you can respond naturally. Maybe "I'm good" or "Not much, just relaxing." When you hear natural speech often, your brain starts copying it automatically. Soon, those phrases become part of your thinking pattern. Try this listening challenge. Every day, listen to 5 minutes of English, anything you like. Then, close your eyes and repeat what you remember. Don't worry if it's not perfect. The goal is to make your brain process English sounds directly. Part 9, Step 8, Have real or imaginary conversations. You can practice speaking English even when you're alone. Create imaginary conversations in your head or speak them out loud. For example, imagine you're talking to a friend. You, "Hey, how are you?" Friend, "I'm good. How are you?" You, "I'm doing great. What did you do today?" Friend, "I went to the park. The weather was nice." You, "That sounds relaxing." When you imagine these small conversations, you're training your brain to respond quickly, just like in real life. You can also record yourself speaking. Talk about your day, your plans, your thoughts. When you listen to your recording, you'll see how your English sounds and what you can improve. Part 10, Step 9, Use common phrases in daily life. Fluent speakers use phrases they don't have to think about. These are called chunks or expressions. For example, "How are you doing?" "That sounds great. Let's get started." "I'm not sure. Can you help me with this?" When you use these phrases often, they become automatic. You don't have to think about them, they just come out. Let's practice some together. Repeat after me. "I totally agree with you." "That's a good idea." "Really? Tell me more." "I didn't catch that." "Can you say it again?" Now you're not just learning words, you're learning how people really speak. Part 11, Step 10, Think in English stories. Once you're comfortable with short sentences, move to stories. Think of a small story in English about your day or an event. For example, "This morning I woke up late. I rushed to get ready for work. I missed my bus, so I took a taxi. When I arrived, my boss was waiting for me. I said sorry, and then I started my work. It was a busy day." See how natural that sounds? It's simple, direct, and fluent. When you tell stories like this, you connect ideas in English. You stop thinking in your native language. Try creating your own short story every day, even 2 or 3 sentences. Conclusion. You see, speaking the same English you think is not about memorizing more grammar or vocabulary. It's about building a connection between your thoughts and your words. Start with small English sentences. Practice shadowing. Speak out loud. Think in English all the time. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And most importantly, enjoy the process. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. One day, you'll realize that you're no longer translating, you're just speaking. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful and you want more lessons like this to improve your English speaking skills, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Keep practicing every day and soon you'll be speaking the same English that you think. See you in the next lesson.